Hello, everybody, and welcome to a fabulous event. Today, me and Cody from Video Store Rejects are going to be announcing the 2021 Golden Mushroom Awards. These are my take on the Razzies, what I consider to be the worst films of 2021. I've nominated into different categories, and it's nice to have Cody here to help me out with it. Hi, Cody.
Hello. I'm just gonna say I'm happy to be here. I mean, personally, myself, I don't really like celebrating or announcing the worst of anything. I just don't have that energy. I prefer to talk about things I enjoy, and also
I
I
do
like
too.
mushrooms, so I don't. But that's interesting. That's why you gave it, because I don't think the Razzies are given out because they don't like raspberries. I think they just like to take a jab at celebrities.
Well, I like raspberries anyway.
Well, that's good. I like raspberries too.
Nice, nice. So, would you like to do the honor of announcing the nominees for Worst Director?
Sure. And the nominees for worst director are John Lee Hancock for The Little Things, Kate Shortland for Black Widow, Sia for Music, M. Night Shyamalan for Old. See, you're just being mean right there. Tim Story, Tom and Jerry, and I didn't even know who this person's name was. Rawson Marshall Thurber for Red Notice.
He's also the director of Dodgeball.
Really?
Yes, he's
Okay, well,
also the
I like
director of Dodgeball.
Dodgeball. It only
I love
saw.
Dodgeball on so many different levels, but Red Notice was just a very disappointment. My pick for this category is Sia because she is a musician. She is a singer-songwriter. She is not a director. At least these others have experience in directing. She doesn't. She should just stick to singing, not making movies called music about autism. This is why she's my pick.
I'm gonna agree. I have not seen the film, so that's probably
You
horrible
are
of
not
me
missing much.
to pick that, but just based on what I've heard about the movie and the subject matter, and you confirming that it's an offensive film, I'm gonna say yes. That would be because at least some of these films, even if they're not showy direction, they're at least doing a competent job of putting a movie together.
Exactly, because as you know, M. Night Shyamalan has made some good movies in the past, like The Sixth Sense and Split. But I just feel like he always has some movies that are just downright terrible, and Old, sadly, I thought was one of them.
I don't think it's anywhere near as one of his worst, but it's
Well,
not
no,
one.
it's not. It's not as bad as After Earth or Lady in the Water.
Yeah. So,
Right, I am going to read out the nominees for Worst Actor. And we have Vin Diesel for Fast and Furious 9, Chiwetel Ejiofor for Lockdown, Gal Garcia Bernal for Old, Tom Hardy for Venom Let There Be Carnage, Dwayne Johnson for Red Notice, and Rami Malek for The Little Things. I like these actors personally. It just the reason why I nominated them because I always expect better from them, and they really let me down with these performances. Who's your pick for this, Cody?
well, I have not seen Lockdown. I heard that was not good despite the cast that was in that. Um I don't really know why Vin Diesel's in here because he's just doing what he always does in the Fast and the Furious movies. So yeah, again, I don't think the acting in Old. Well, you didn't nominate Thomas McKenzie and Alex Wolf, which I thought they actually did really good jobs playing little kids in the movie.
I haven't nominated them.
I guess I'm gonna give it to Tom Hardy for Venom Let There Be Carnage just because he also co-wrote this script. So I don't know what he is trying to do with these movies, and I know there's an audience for it cuz these movies are making a lot of money, but I am not on these movies wavelengths at all.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give mine to Dwayne Johnson for Red Notice because you always expect a good movie with him, and Red Notice was just a massive letdown.
Yeah, but again, he's still doing the Dwayne Johnson thing that he always does.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of felt like he's lost his gimmick doing that personally. I hope he brings more character to Black Adam.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm looking forward to that, especially with Pierce Brosnan showing up too.
Yeah, it's nice to have a Bond in a superhero movie. Would you like to read out Worst Actress?
Yes, the nominees for Worst Actress are Jennifer Garner for Yes Day, Anne Hathaway for Lockdown, Kate Hudson for Music, Melissa McCarthy for Thunder Force, Christina Milani for Resort to Love, and Chloe Grace Moretz for Tom and Jerry.
This is the hardest category because some of them are were really disappointing. I can't really pick Melissa McCarthy because, like you say, that she's typecast and she's typically bad. And I don't think it was Kate Hudson's fault why Music was bad. She was just in a bad movie. I don't blame her performance for it being bad. But the one I'm going to go with is interesting because I've never heard of this actress, and my ex girlfriend put this movie on. And I just thought, why the hell are we watching this? And it's Christina Milan for Resort to Love. I just don't think she's that good of an actress.
Oh, well, you should watch, what was that movie called? It just came out last year. It's really good with Andy Samberg.
Oh,
Uh,
Palm Springs.
yeah, Palm Springs. That's who she is. She's the female lead
No,
in
no,
that.
you're thinking of Christina Melito.
Oh, well, then who is this person? My bad.
I think she's just an actress from New Zealand. She often makes typical Netflix rom-coms.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea who this is then.
Yeah. Who'd you pick then?
Well, I haven't seen most of these movies, other than Thunder Force and Tom and Jerry. So I guess this is a little bit harder to reward. So I guess I'm gonna give it to Chloe Grace Moretz for Tom and Jerry, just because I know she can do more as an actor than what she was doing with
Yes.
this film. Granted, she's probably only working with whatever the script they had for this, but
That's most of the time when it's good actors.
just based off I know her skills as an actor and what is there, and because I haven't seen the only other one I saw was Thunder Force, and it's just Melissa McCarthy doing her shtick that she does in a lot of movies. So I'm not gonna say that was worse because that's what she does when she's not doing something really interesting like she did in Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Yeah, that sounds like a good film. Is that her only other good performance besides Bridesmaids?
I mean, I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's really her best performance besides Bridesmaids.
I can imagine. You ready for me to read out Worst Supporting Actor?
Yeah, let's do it.
We have Bobby Cannavale for Thunder Force, Don Cheadle for Space Jam: A New Legacy, Jared Leto for The Little Things, Ryan Reynolds for Red Notice, Reefer Swell for Old, and Ray Winston for Black Widow.
So you got some talented guys, and then you got some guys kind of doing what you expect them to be doing on screen.
Yes. He's your pick then.
So I actually like Rufus Swell and Old. I think he's doing kind of the roles he always
It's
knows to
just
play.
I saw him in The Father earlier, and he gave a much better performance in that.
Well, yeah. Um, it's tempting to give it to Jared Leto just because I'm tired of Jared Leto's shtick, but and I think Ryan Reynolds is just doing what Ryan Reynolds does. I'm gonna give it to Ray Winstone because it's such a boring and bland performance.
And the
Because
terrible Russian accent as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
Ray
that's
Winston is my pick as well.
I think that's the worst because I actually enjoy Black Widow as a film, particularly for the supporting cast of Florence Pugh, David Harbour, and Rachel Weisz. But I think the villain is the worst part of the movie, and that's Ray Winstone.
Yes, 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 he is. Like, I love him in films like Sexy Beast and obviously The Departed, but he can't do accents, and that's his flaw with The Departed. Like, he's always better as a Cockney gangster.
I even have fun with him as Beowulf in Beowulf.
I need to see Beowulf.
I mean, it's not a great movie, but it's just kind of fun. They're like, oh, we're going to get this big, burly British gangster type guy to be Beowulf.
Yeah, it's very weird. That is very weird. And now we're moving on to worst supporting actress. Would you do the honors, Cody?
Sure, the nominees are Gal Gadot for Red Notice, Olga Kurylenko. Is that how you say that?
I think so, yeah.
For Black Widow, is that the actor that played Taskmaster?
Yes.
Okay. Melissa Leo for Thunder Force, Teg Notaro for Army of the Dead, Charlize Theron for Fast and the Furious 9. I don't even know if that one, she's barely in the movie.
That's why I nominated her.
Maddie Ziegler for music. Is that the kid that's
Yes, yes.
okay?
And I've decided it's not really her fault about the portrayal. She was only like given the right thing to do. And from what I heard, she was very uncomfortable playing that character. So I don't think it'd be fair just to nominate her for that. I'm gonna have to give this one to Melissa Leo because she's a really good actress. So I love her in The Fighter and Prisoners, and it's just a shame for to see her do a really like lame comedy film like this when she deserves to have more titled roles, just like Fighter and Prisoners. So that's why she's my pick.
You know what? I think I'm gonna agree because I don't really know anything else Olga Kurylenko has been in.
Quantum of
Though,
Solace, Seven Psychopaths. She's been in a couple of things.
oh, is that who that is? I couldn't tell that was her in Black Widow. I okay, nope. I'm gonna give it to her because that is such a bland part. Like they did not give anything there.
They didn't. They did not. And it's just a shame because I heard people say how good of a comic villain Taskmaster is.
I know
So I can
people
see why
were.
you'd vote for that.
I mean, Marvel's had this problem. Like, there's only been a few exceptions where they've had interesting villains.
Yeah, well, Wenwu was a good one from Shang-Chi.
Well, yeah, I thought he was a pretty interesting villain, and I liked that like they acknowledged the stuff that some of the fans didn't like about the Mandarin used before, and then he just kind of like took a jab at even the name like of the character.
Yeah, that was quite funny. That was really funny. And now I'm on to worst original screenplay. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
We have got Ben Falcone for The Thunder Force, Stephen Knight for Lockdown, Justin Mayland for Yes Day, Tabby McCarthy and Dana Summerlenberg, Resort to Love, Sia and Dallas Clayton for music, and Rawson Marshall Thumber for Red Notice. Who are you going for?
Uh, it's easy to say, oh, Thunder Force, but I think just because of the audacity now seeing that Sia also wrote the screenplay, I think I'm gonna go with music.
Yeah, that is a smart decision. That is a smart decision. See, I'm not going to give it to Sia because I didn't really see like a clear story. I'm going to give it to Stephen Knight for Lockdown because he's written he's created two successful British television shows, one a game show that's known worldwide, and one gangster series that is known worldwide. And Lockdown was just absolutely atrocious, and it just really shows that he's not that good with making movies. So I'm going to give it to Stephen Knight for
Is,
Lockdown.
is that did he do Peaky Blinders?
Peaky Blinders and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, well, I mean, he should be like rich for the rest of his days for that one.
Yeah, he should. He should. I bet he is super rich. I bet he is super rich. And do you want to read out worst adapted screenplay?
Worst adapted screenplay: Daniel Casey and Justin Lin for Fast and the Furious 9. Is that just because it's a sequel?
Pretty much.
Kevin Costello for Tom and Jerry. Kelly Marcel for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Eric Pearson for Black Widow. M. Night Shyamalan for Old. And Zack Snyder for Army of the Dead.
And if you want to know who I'm going to go for, it's actually going to be Black Widow, because out of every Marvel film I've seen, I've always like to expect quality entertainment, and that one did not entertain me.
Well, I'm going to go with Tom and Jerry because I feel like it's lazy
Yeah,
and
smart,
it's
smart
just
decision.
it's just a lazy screenplay. Like they weren't even trying to do anything interesting. They were just like, how can we put these characters into a live action movie, which probably are characters that shouldn't be in a feature length movie. They're characters that work in a 20-minute cartoon episode because they're just chasing each other and trying to hurt one another.
I agree with you. I agree with you. There wasn't. They've always have tried to do a Tom and Jerry film, whether it's live action or animated, and it never works. Why can't they just stick to beating each other up for 5 minutes?
Yeah, there's just some gimmicks and characters that don't work well for feature length. They work better in a smaller time frame.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. I agree with you there. I agree with you there. And now we're going to move on to the worst production values, which is just like the whole production, whether it's the cinematography, whether it's the music, whether it's the editing, sound design. That covers all of it. And they are Army of the Dead, Music, Old, Resort to Love, Space Jam: A New Legacy, and Tom and Jerry.
I'm gonna give it to Space Jam because it was nothing but a commercial for the whole Warner Brothers library.
That's a smart move. I'm going with Resort to Love because it just felt like Netflix were oveling, like we're trying to get into the travel business and show off like this massive like resort. The whole movie just feels like a massive travel video, and that's why I'm giving it to Resort to Love.
I haven't even heard of that one, so but it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like I always kind of like expect very big production, but if I had to pick another one, it would be Army of the Dead because of how terrible the cinematography is in it.
It's not great, but I actually enjoyed Tig Notaro in the movie, and I understand she replaced a different actor for that role.
Yeah, I get what you
So
mean.
all her stuff was done on green screen.
Yeah, and I think that's why her performance let the film down a bit when I gave it a second watch for that Zack Snyder's zombie film off thing I did.
Well, there's no way there's gonna top his other zombie movie.
Exactly, exactly. And now we're going to talk about worst stunt team, the final category. Would you like to read this out, Cody?
Sure. So the worst stunt team we have Army of the Dead, Black Widow, Fast and the Furious 9, Space Jam: A New Legacy, Thunder Force, and Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
This is a hard one to give it to because I do respect stunt teams, but I'm going to give it to Black Widow because the stunts kind of felt a bit too far fetched.
Hmm.
Who'd you
Uh,
give it to?
hmm. I guess I'm gonna give it to Thunder Force because I don't feel like there really was a stunt team on this movie. No disrespect to anyone who worked on this movie, but like it's kind of weird that yeah, because look, Fast 9, it does what it does with the car chases. Space Jam, I'm pretty sure LeBron James did play basketball. He knows how to play basketball. Uh I mean the fights are pretty cool in Black Widow, and then you got Army of the Dead's fine. Venom, it's CGI monsters fighting each other. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it to Thunder Force.
Yeah, smart move, smart move. And that is the nominees for the Golden Mushroom Awards. Voting is now. I will send a link round on my Facebook and Twitter and privately to all my friends. Cody, thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure. Even though I don't like celebrating bad things.
It's all right. It's all right because we're doing obviously the Fleming Awards will be released on Christmas, so and you get to announce Best Director.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to bringing that to you guys and letting everybody see it. I still need to film mine and Justin's bit, but I'll get on that as soon as I can. All right. Thank you very much, Cody. I'll see you soon. Thank you guys for watching and celebrate these worst movies. Right. Bye, Cody.
Bye.